Hi, I'm Jeff Tobe. In this video, what I want to talk to you about is how to deal with customer complaints with tact. Tact meaning having the clarity, confidence, and capability to deal with difficult or delicate customer, member, or patient situations. And ignoring customer complaints can wreak havoc on three key things. Number one, the experiences your customers have with you and your organization. Secondly, your organization's reputation in the marketplace or community. And finally, your positioning to acquire new customers and members. So how do you resolve customer complaints with tact and then turn a complaint into a word-of-mouth marketing opportunity? And what do I mean by word-of-mouth marketing opportunity in the context of the ideal customer experience? Well, when you intentionally include elements of wow, surprise, and delight in your organization's ideal customer experiences, here's what's likely to happen. Your customers, members, or patients will talk to their family and friends about the experience that they had with you, your product or services, and your brand. Be sure to listen to the emotional words and phrases they use to describe the wow, surprise, and delight that was unexpected from the typical, normal, and ordinary customer service experience they usually have day to day. The second thing that happens is they go directly to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social platforms, either on their smartphone or their tablet, to like, comment, and share their wow, surprise, and delight experiences. When this happens consistently, your business gains momentum. Travel back with me a minute and think about when you were a kid. You're standing on the top of a hill on a snowy day with 12 inches of snow on the ground. You bend down and you form the snow into a tiny little ball. You roll it back and forth until you feel it's just the right size to roll down the hill. Somehow kids know exactly when to do this. What happens when you let go of the tiny snowball and it gains speed, power, and size? The same thing happens in your business. Your first few fans and followers who had ideal experiences with you that include wow, surprise, and delight turn into brand advocates. And brand advocates drive more customers, members, patients to you and your organization, just like the tiny snowball gains speed, power, and size. You're on a new trajectory for exponential growth and profits. But what do we do if our staff loses their attention and focus and you have customer complaints and dissatisfaction? In particular, you have difficult or delicate customer situations and they're overwhelming your staff. I'll give you 2 tips to deal with these difficult or delicate customer situations that are very, very helpful right now. And here they are. Tip number 1, active listening to understand facts. Asking the right questions of our internal and external customers is a key to effective communication. We have to immediately establish our role as the seeker of information and the buyer as a giver in order to create this relationship. To keep it simple and have clarity, there's only one mindset to know, and that is thinking along with your customer and responding just as much to what isn't said as to what is said. Let me repeat that again. Thinking along with your customer and responding just as much to what isn't said as to what is said. So tip number 1 is active listening to understand facts, and that'll help you like this. Look at the end result your customer wants to achieve. In this case, it's information is power in the communication process. In their current situation, they're powerless with passive listening to understand the facts process. What do they have to do to get from powerless to information is power? Let's keep it easy and simple. There are 3 easy steps to get there. Here's your roadmap. Step number 1, research situations before taking action. Number 2, find the most valid information in whatever they hear. And number 3, let the customer feel they're right. And vital to each one of those 3 steps are your how-to checkpoints. So, when it comes to number 1, researching situations before taking action, your how-to checkpoints are these. First, ask yourself what was not said but implied in your interaction. I like to call it listening between the lines. Number 2, try to see the situation from their perspective. What might they be thinking, feeling, or doing? And checkpoint number 3 is literally do research on the situation. Don't just settle for Wikipedia answers, but get the facts straight. Step number 2 was find the most valid information in whatever they hear. The 3 how-to checkpoints here are, first, Check in with your customer as they are talking. Don't interrupt, but clarify with something like, so if I understand you right, or what I heard you say is, this ensures there are no mistakes. Number 2 is ask questions. Questions like what effect and what if are incredibly effective. What effect will that have on your family? What if we could forego the surcharge and still get it to you on time? And checkpoint number 3 is find the most valid information in whatever they hear. Simply be an engaged listener. Nod your head, express your feelings, tell them that you care. And step number 3 was let your customer, member, or patient feel they're right. The first thing to do to make sure your customer feels they're right is to avoid but statements and use and. Say things like, I hear what you're saying and we can't always do that. Here's the one thing you want to make sure you never do so your customer or member feels they are wrong, and that's to try and win an argument. You can never win, and it shouldn't be a case of winning. The customer needs to feel that they're right. Tip number 2 is listening between the lines. Listening between the lines allows your people to be more effective in their active listening, and they build sustainable listening habits that save time and money. What this means is that with practice, participants gain that one competitive edge that will set them apart from everybody else. A while back, I had a client call me to cancel an engagement they had booked. I've had this happen before, as I'm sure you've had somebody call to cancel an order or a shipment. But you know when something just doesn't feel right? I asked some questions and wasn't getting a satisfactory answer. There was a contract after all, and they couldn't cancel. I told them that I would get back to them, and I angrily hung up the phone. But something didn't sit right, so I went online, and I found out that their founder and chair of their association had passed away, and I realized that there was no way they could hold the event in such a sad environment. I felt terrible for feeling angry. I should have listened between the lines. It's like when your kid tells you they don't want to go to school today because they don't feel well. Your instincts tell you there's more to the story. You later find out they're being bullied and dread third period class. Listen between the lines. An active listening to understand facts and listening between the lines is a part of a bigger picture strategy called coloring outside the lines, creating a new customer experience. Coloring outside the lines, creating a new customer experience is based on 3 things. First, creating ideal customer, member, or patient experiences that include wow, surprise, and delight. Second, and if you do it right and your customer goes to their family, friends, and social media, those ideal member experiences continually work for your business or organization, meaning bringing you more customers and members over time. And number 3, using creativity and innovation tools to map out your top 5 ideal customer experiences. If you like the strategies and tips I shared in this video, then you might be interested in learning the easy and simple system I use to help my clients create ideal customer experiences that include wow, surprise, and delight. So, if you're really serious about creating ideal customer experiences, then I invite you to go deeper with me in my brand new keynote presentation, workshop, and long-term trainings called Coloring Outside the Lines 2.0, Creating an Ideal Customer Experience. If you want to speak with me, let's schedule a free 15-minute strategy call. I'd be happy to find out all about what you're doing and then brainstorm some ways to apply this to your business or organization. And if at the end of that call you're interested in bringing me in for a keynote workshop or long-term training, I'll tell you about how we might best work together. If you're not interested, you're good. No worries, no problem. Doesn't matter either way. I'm glad to help. You'll walk away with a new roadmap to create ideal member or patient or customer experiences inside your business or organization by listening between the lines. So to summarize, how to deal with customer complaints with tact. Tip number 1, active listening to understand facts. Asking the right questions of our internal and external customers is a key to effective communication. We have to immediately establish our role as the seeker of information and the buyer as a giver in order to create a relationship. And tip number 2, listening between the lines. It allows your people to be more effective in their active listening. So, if you're really serious about coloring outside the lines, give me a call or text me. The number is 412-759-5319. We'll schedule your 15-minute strategy call. It's free and no obligation. I really want to talk to you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.